Hello there, one and all, and thank you very much for tuning into episode 580 of Love at First Scent, the first episode after the extended summer break. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all been well. I hope you're able to tune in either to the recording or the live. We have a comment, and it is from Perfumed by the Sea, who says, "Welcome back, Mr. P. As a big Labo fangirl, I'm interested in what you think about both of these ones that we're going to be reviewing in today's video. Got samples of both and wasn't too bothered. Today's scent is Forgive Me by Karin Rottfeld." I think that's the one from that range that I liked, wasn't it? I seem to remember. Abu Zarazi says, "Welcome back, everyone." Absolutely. S. Omar says, "Welcome back. Missing your honest assessments on perfumes and also my inability to speak properly." Eric says, "Welcome back." Thank you. It is great to be back. A little bit later than expected. There were a few complications. I was actually hoping to start resuming videos about sort of week 10 days ago, but never mind, water under the bridge. Various things happened that prevented me from being able to do videos. And as always, for the benefit of those of you watching live, I will say that the plan for today is to do two videos back to back. A quickie, this one will be the quickie where we talk about the new Labo City Exclusive as well as one of last year's releases, and then we'll come back with a kind of extended one where we'll look at, I think, at about five new releases. Something that I should do that I probably don't do often enough, for the benefit of those of you watching for the very first time ever, you will find out some basic information about me if you go to my website persolaise.com. But essentially the idea of these videos is that I review perfumes live through a lot of audience interaction. So I will say now, if you're not a fan of audience interaction, this is probably not the channel for you. I don't get completely carried away with the audience interaction, but the audience interaction is actually all part of the review, because it is the questions that I'm asked that spark off different thoughts that lead to you know, hopefully amusing banter, but then help me make connections, help all of us make connections that we might otherwise not have been able to make with older perfumes, with, you know, perfumes we may not have thought of in relation to the perfume we're talking about. So yeah, it's that kind of channel. I also hope to be able to bring you some interviews before the end of the year, as in before the end of the calendar year. I'm trying to line up a few, but you will find a complete index of all of the perfumes that I've done, either the written ones or the video ones, on my website on persolaise.com. Just go to the perfume review index page. There are also reviews on my Substack. You may consider subscribing to my Substack. Some articles are behind a paywall, some are free. And also, if you would like to find out how you can support my work, you should be able to see a link to my Ko-fi page in the video description below. I cannot keep up with all of these comments, but it's great to see them all. Ralph says, "So good to have you back." Thank you very much. It's good to be back. EcoJock says, "You were missed." That's very sweet. Thank you. Floating Man says, "Afternoon, Mr. P and all. Been a while since I caught you live." It has been a while. "Hello from India," says Kunal. "You're very welcome." Oriana says, "Hello, everyone." Tripty says, "Oh my God, I'm so happy you are back. I'm crying." Don't cry. I'm really back. I hope time away was beautiful and filled with pleasure. It was very good. Thank you very much. Mira says, "I was in Labo." Yeah, bring us back on track. In Toronto just yesterday. Decided on Musc 25 after sampling several at home and in-store yesterday. Loved Osmanthus 19, but doesn't last. Okay, let's get back on track then. So, very quickly. Labo is a brand that is currently owned by Estee Lauder, the Estee Lauder Group, Estee Lauder Companies. It was bought up by Estee Lauder quite some time ago. And for quite a while, the way that they've operated is that they have some perfumes, lots of perfumes in their main collection that are available in all of the places where you can get Labo perfumes. But they also have some that they call city exclusives that are available only in the city to which they are exclusive, except for this time of year when they're available at all Labo boutiques. And this usually happens when they launch a new one. So in August, you can get a sample of any city exclusive wherever you are, and then in September you can actually buy a full bottle of any city exclusive wherever you are. And I think I'm right in saying and I'm getting a bit of a deja vu thing here, because I seem to remember saying this last year, and I can't remember what the answer was. I think that once you have purchased a City Exclusive, no matter where you purchased it from, you can always have it refilled at any Le Labo boutique, I believe. Anyway, this year's City Exclusive is linked to Kyoto. Beautiful, beautiful city in Japan, which I was very, very fortunate to be able to visit a few years ago now. Actually, it's going back a few years. And they're calling it Osmanthus 19. Here we are, tiny little sample vial that I got for myself from the Le Labo website. Again, very, very quickly, for those of you who don't know, the way that the Le Labo naming supposedly works is that the word is a reference to the most prominent ingredient in the formula, and the number refers to the number of ingredients in the formula. But there's a bit of a kind of running joke in the perfume community, as many of you will be aware, that if a Le Labo perfume is called Osmanthus something or other, don't expect it to smell of Osmanthus. If it's called Vetiver something or other, don't expect it to smell of Vetiver. And that stands to reason a little bit, because it isn't always the case that the most heavily dosed, most highly dosed ingredient in a perfume is the one that you smell the most. So okay, it's called Osmanthus 19, but we mustn't particularly expect it to smell of Osmanthus. Is there any of the original creators left on the brand, says Noah? As far as I'm aware, no. As far as I'm aware, they cut ties with the brand quite some time ago. And there are lots of rumours floating around about what's going to be happening with brands like Le Labo, with Frederic Malle also was bought up by Estee Lauder a while ago. Frederic Malle himself stayed on board, but he left a year ago. And there are lots of rumours floating around about who is actually going to take the creative direction on of these brands. And I don't know what the truth is, but I'm hearing things about how it's going to be one person who's going to be doing the creative direction for both Frederic Malle and Le Labo. But please, please, please don't take this as gospel, because it absolutely isn't. Nothing's confirmed until it's confirmed. Pre-labeled blotter. We have pre-sprayed blotters as well, so I can tell you how the scent develops. Anyway, let's get going. This is Osmanthus 19, the Kyoto exclusive, but available everywhere until the end of September. That's a nice shirt, says Dushan. Thank you very much. Holiday purchase. I've had a comment on a shirt. That means we're back on. No, I need to have at least one comment that says your hair looks disgusting. Then I know that we're back in normal mode. Anyway, yeah, I've had a few sniffs of this already since I got the sample. It starts very, very promisingly, I have to say. More so than last year's City Exclusive. I remember that last year's, I hope my memory's functioning correctly, last year's was coriander, wasn't it? But I forget what city it was linked to. I did review it, so you should be able to search for it and find it. Yvette says, welcome back, Mr. P. Sorry I'm late. Bought you a coffee to celebrate. That's very, very kind, and better late than never. So it starts off not as an Osmanthus scent, surprise, surprise, but actually as quite a cool, refined, quite zen, appropriately enough, frankincense, with a kind of herbal lavendery note. Oh, I'm getting told by you folks that last year's Coriander 39 was linked to Mexico City. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. This is why we do it live, folks, okay? Because I can't be checking all of the information and everything. This is why we do it with audience participation. New blotters, says Sean. No, not really. These are actually old blotters that I dug out of somewhere. I need to get some new blotters, but no, I mean, as long as they're uncontaminated blotters, that's fine. Now, Kyoto, if any of you have ever had the pleasure of visiting Kyoto, you will know what I mean here. If you have an opportunity to visit Kyoto, please, please, please go. It is in many ways the antithesis of Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo is fascinating as well. I loved every place that I saw in Japan. But Kyoto really felt like something out of the past. And Kyoto is also where you go. Residents of Japan, correct me if I'm wrong. Kyoto is also where you go if you want to buy the best incense that you can get in Japan. And when you walk into a Japanese incense shop, the smell that greets you is it is quite extraordinary and very, very, very difficult to describe. There is nothing proper Japanese incense, because they also do their fair share of simplistic, floral, accessible, sweet, approachable type incenses. But Mika says Kyoto felt like a dream. Yes, completely. Real Japanese incense, you know, the proper stuff, has got the most complex smell because it seems to operate on so many different levels. It has got that kind of familiar olibanum mineralic feel to it, but it also really, really doesn't shy away from the funky and maybe even the fungal and the kind of stewed vegetably and the weird. Oud, aloe wood, is an important part of Japanese culture and Japanese scenting culture, an important part of the incense smelling ceremony, which is called Kodo? And basically what I'm saying is that the real deal, the real stuff that you, the smell that hits you when you walk into a proper Japanese incense shop is quite confronting, quite ancient, quite challenging, and just unspeakably beautiful. This is not doing that. I think Le Labo would have had to have been a very different sort of brand if they were really going to go full Kyoto. So I suppose they've given us the accessible, the less challenging, the more palatable aspects of incense. What they've given us is a very, very pretty opening frankincense note, as I say. Very nicely done, gently handled lavender. But I just don't know if it's got soul. And Kyoto is full of soul. I mean, I'm no Japan expert, and when we went to Japan, we only visited a few places, but it really felt, if I had to pick one place where I got the feeling that I just about was able to glimmer the soul of Japan, I would say it was in Kyoto. It was the only place where I think we saw genuine geishas, I think. I mean, I don't know. My feeling was that they were real geishas, as opposed to people sort of, you know, dressing up as geishas. Now, Osmanthus is an important material in that part of the world, you know, Japan, China. It has a scent profile that is somewhere between apricot jam and leather. I do not really get that particularly from this perfume. Cheap Imitation says, unspeakably beautiful and Le Labo do not go together. There are some beautiful Le Labo scents. I am a big fan of certain Le Labo scents. Anyway, let's see what the brand themselves say about this. So they say, in early winter, when most plants have gone dormant, gardeners await the arrival of the Osmanthus flower. Let your eyes wander and you'll miss it. The momentary bloom of this delicate flower, treasured for its ethereal, sensual fragrance, until it can surprise us again, we offer Osmanthus 19. First impressions are notes of incense and aromatic lavender. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Before the titular flower emerges, creamy and uplifting, with woody, resinous tonalities close behind. The composition is pure Kyoto, a nuanced scent for a town where traditional machiya houses sometimes harmonize with concrete and neon. I don't know what a machiya house is, somebody will tell me, no doubt. Where video game arcades can be found a stone's throw from the gardens of emperors long past. And they finish with a haiku that starts like this. It goes, this one's a haiku for the eternal city just in Kyoto Labs. Perfumed by the Sea says, I just don't think they will do any better than Mer 55 Shanghai for the city scents. That was a good one. That was a high point of the city exclusives of recent years. Pre-sprayed Osmanthus 19, and yeah, this is it just becomes too thin, too weak, a little bit too insipid. I think maybe what they were going for was cool, clean, streamlined zen. But that kind of an aesthetic dare I use the word vibe, that kind of a vibe has got to have oomph behind it. It's got to have flesh, it's got to have bones, it's got to have soul. And this doesn't quite deliver in that department. Very, very, very quickly, because this is one from last year, and I would imagine a lot of you have smelt it already. And interestingly, there are similarities with this, with the one we've just talked about. Last year, as part of their main collection, Le Labo released Eucalyptus 20, and I never got a chance to review it. So just for the sake of completeness, here we go. Olivier says, so is it more an incense scent than an Osmanthus one? I would say so. I would say incense lavender. Yes. Eucalyptus 20. Again, a cool mineralic incense, not a million miles away from the opening of Osmanthus, but where the Osmanthus kind of went herbal lavendery, the Eucalyptus goes cedar woody, even cleaner, even whiter, paler, and yes, I think there is a suggestion of the kind of pine-like. There is definitely more than a suggestion, actually, to be fair, of the pine-like camphoraceous qualities of eucalyptus. But I mean, it's fine. It's no earth-shattering release. Again, I'll tell you what they say about it. This is how their blurb starts. Picture a place so vast, so remote, you can journey weeks without encountering another soul. Endless miles of rolling red sand, endless miles of sky. In the unforgiving heat, a lone white tree on the next horizon can feel like an illusion. But the eucalyptus is the oasis, a way station where tumbleweeds and rusting dust come to settle in the hallowed shade of silver leaves. This is the inspiration for Eucalyptus 20, the unambiguous scent of vastness. Oh, I think it needs to be much more dramatic than this if it's to be the smell of vastness, where the freshness of eucalyptus and cedarwood is softened by the leathery warmth of labdanum and grounded on a bed of musk notes and frankincense. And so with this scent comes an invitation. Get off the grid. Yeah, Le Labo are still kind of pushing that sort of anti-establishment, hipsterish thing, aren't they? Yeah, it isn't dramatic enough. It isn't kind of lung-filling enough. It isn't mind-opening enough to be the scent of vastness. What is it doing in its dry down? Well, funny you should ask. I will tell you. Is this the right blotter? Yes. Oh, EcoJock explanation. A machiya house is a traditional Japanese house that combines a shop in the front and residence in the back. Kyoto is the old capital. That is why it is the heart of Japan. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, this is pre-sprayed eucalyptus. Just quite a safe, thin, uninvolving wood scent. So, there we are. I expect there's going to be a main collection Le Labo release at some point this year as well, so if I can get my hands on a few drops, I will review it. But we are done for this episode. I wanted to start with an easy one just to make sure that the tech was all working. It's funny how you know, a few weeks away makes you forget all of the bits and pieces that you're meant to do. But thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and we will be back in a few minutes with a longer episode in which we'll look at a few more new releases. Thank you very much for watching. See you in a bit. Bye now.